Hello, my dear friend. Welcome. Welcome to another moment of reflection. But this is more than a reflection. I think we're gonna dive a little bit deeper today in terms of life lessons. And I would like to read something for you since we are all learning together and exploring and discovering and connecting to our truth, our essence. And today's topic is self-love. And I would like to say that self-love, for me, it has been my life lesson. And that's why I want to share this with you. But also I think that it is the most important one. Loving the self. Loving yourself deeply and truthfully. Tapping into that essence of your own truth. Loving yourself. Self-love is one of the most profound life lessons a soul can incarnate to learn. Not only it is foundational to inner peace, but it's also the seed from which many other lessons blossom. When souls come here to learn different lessons based on their evolution, we are tapping into the truth that many ancient traditions, mystics, and modern spiritual thinkers agree on. Earth is a school for the soul. If we think of the self-love as a root lesson, without it, everything else, relationships, creativity, forgiveness, purpose, gets filtered through distortion. When a soul evolves enough to truly face the lesson of self-love, is often after lifetimes or years of abandonment, people-pleasing, lack of boundaries, or self-hate. Choosing to learn self-love is radical. In that, you validate your own worth, you accept your shadow and your light, you break inherited cycles, you walk away from what hurts, even if it's familiar, and you return to your essence. Self-love is not often the first lesson. Some souls come to learn how to survive, how to belong, how to trust, or how to let go. But eventually, if the soul is ready, it gets to the high-level lesson of loving the self. Not the ego, not the performance, but the deep inner being. It's a pivot point in soul growth. Is where the soul stops looking outward for approval or salvation and turns inward to remember its own divinity. It can be incredibly painful because it often requires unlearning so much of what we were taught about who we need to be loved. Why self-love matters so deeply. Self-love is not indulgent, it's revolutionary. It allows you to set healthy limits, heal generational trauma, live from a place of wholeness, be a mirror for others to rise into their own light. When you love yourself, not in an ego but in a soul, you vibrate at a frequency that shifts rooms, relationships, and realities. And I have to agree. Based on my own experience, in all the lessons that I have learned, I think the most profound lesson for me is self-love. And how did I find out that was my lesson? Well, After being in relationships and living a life where I didn't see myself or I didn't honor myself, I had to come to the conclusion that everything that had happened to me, it wasn't because the world was against me. It was more so that I would finally see myself. So that's why I had to go through all the experiences. I had to get involved with people that didn't really see me, or maybe they saw me, but because I didn't see myself, our interactions were mainly of abuse, attacking one another. Because I needed to see myself, I needed to honor me, I needed to learn boundaries, I needed to stand in my own power and stop thinking always what's best for the other and think what's best for me. Oftentimes, it didn't matter to me what was good for me. I always felt that I could bend my rules. I always felt that other people are priority because maybe their time, because either maybe subconsciously I thought, they were better than me, or I didn't want to lose them, I guess. I didn't want to get them upset. I didn't want to get them mad. I didn't want to inconvenience anybody. Yeah, I didn't want to inconvenience anybody, so I inconvenienced myself. It was easier. And I had this idea that I am very strong, and because of that, I could just take anything. And so I did. I took a lot. And at the end result of that abuse towards myself was the realization that, that if you don't care for you, nobody really cares. If you don't see yourself, and if you don't value yourself, I am sorry, but nobody else will. Some people are kind and nice, and they will not abuse you, but chances are that these people have already done their work and they see what you're doing to yourself, so they're not going to add on to that. But I would say the majority of people don't know this. So if you treat yourself, if you put yourself as a doormat, people will step all over you because you're the one that's putting yourself as a doormat. So things happened in life so that we learn lessons. And that was my lesson. The more you accept, the more you tolerate, the more you're going to get. Plain and simple. So I want to do a self-love series with affirmations and sound healing. We're going to incorporate sound, the vibrations of the singing bowls and other instruments, and affirmations. I love affirmations because we need to reprogram the mind. We need to come out of this mentality that we are here to please others and completely neglect ourselves. And I invite you to, if this is something that you are going through, I invite you to take a look within. Read. There's so much information online, and you can get overwhelmed by it. So my suggestion would be for you to, before you do any research or before you start going into the rabbit hole, to sit with yourself and bring your hands to your heart. Abusive relationships can be with anybody. Anybody can abuse you. But I pray that you find the courage to walk away from that, and that you see your worth, and that you're able to see that you don't deserve that. Nobody deserves to be abused. We may unconsciously think that we do, and that's why we tolerate the abuse, when in reality we don't. And after that, after you get out of abusive relationship, you need the time to heal. You need the time to come back to you and honor, because now you need to repair what has been broken. You need to give yourself all the love that you were looking for and you didn't get. So now it's time for you. And again, any abusive relationship, it's not just romantic, but anywhere where you feel that you have not been honored. And that is the reason why is that you haven't honored yourself. So it's time to honor yourself. It's time to look within. It's time to start healing. To recognize your self-worth. To stop looking outside and stop thinking that other people are going to give you. Because we have to remember that we are all on the same journey of figuring this out. Therefore, I invite you to invest your time and energy in loving yourself. Everything else will fall in place. Focus on what matters. And what matters is the love that you can give to yourself. Prioritizing. That is my message. That is the reason I started this. That is the purpose. Because I had to learn it myself. And I'm still learning. Every day we learn. And we share. Loving yourself is the most profound and important gift you can give to the world. Thank you. I will prepare this series of self-love, and I hope you can join me. Namaste.